All right. Well, you want to close out with one story?
All right, let's go.
We'll get out of here with this one story. Save the best for last.
All right.
You're going to love this. Former Versace, high-end fashion, right?
Sure.
Versace.
Mm-hmm.
Former Versace employee says the store used code to bring attention to black customers.
Positive attention or negative?
Well, when I was in high school, my first job was my first real job.
Okay.
Was being a busboy for Bob Evans.
All right.
And the waitresses would have code.
Okay.
For black people.
All right.
Because
they don't tip.
And they make a horrendous mess, and they have high demands.
Really?
Yeah. Get me this, and get me more of this, and get me that. I saw it for myself.
Okay.
So the term was, oh, God, they're setting a bunch of Canadians in my section.
Canadians.
What
did the Canadians do that was so bad?
It wasn't the Canadians.
I know, but to equate them.
That was code.
I get it. I'm kidding.
I know. Versace is coming under fire for a racist practice that one former employee claims he was taught to abide by when he was hired at the Versace retail store in Pleasanton, California.
Right.
The former clerk is suing. Again, this all boils down to suing and money and reparations and whatnot.
Of course.
Suing Versace over racial profiling, according to Women's Wear Daily. In a confidential moment while being trained for his new role, Christopher Sampiro, 23, metrosexual, was told about the D as in dog, 410 code.
D410?
D410.
Okay.
The code is meant to be used while ringing up black clothing at the register, but Versace allegedly also asked its workers to speak the code aloud in a casual manner to warn colleagues that a black person has entered the store.
Oh, no. Wow.
They just D410, over.
They literally just don't want the black customers in the store.
Well, this again goes back to behavior.
Yeah.
With probably shoplifting.
Sure.
And, stealing and this and that. So it's just like D410, over.
That is brutal, man.
Well, again, if people wouldn't act out, there would be no need for this.
Well, that's it. And, that's one of the unfortunates of behavior is you're not judged on your own behavior. You're judged on the guy in front of you's behavior.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you can be an upstanding citizen of any race, I'll use Muslims as a perfect example. There's a lot of damn good Muslim people in this country.
I'm sure there are.
But we're not going to judge them on them. We're going to judge them on the fucking asshole that shot up San Bernardino.
Exactly.
And the cocksuckers that are fucking drowning people with GoPros on cages. That's who they're going to be judged with. Right. Because that's the memorable ones.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it works. And that's the same with anything else. How many times white guys with guns are fucking judged as fucking hillbillies? Because what? Because hillbillies make the most fucking loud, stupid noise. Right?
Yeah, they wave their Confederate flags and shoot guns in the air and drive pickup trucks.
Yeah. You know damn well that every liberal under the sun thinks that I'm a hillbilly.
Of course.
Because I fucking own guns and I'm proud of it.
And you got long hair.
And I got long hair, too.
And,
so,
you swear a lot and use cunt and motherfucker.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess I follow all the fucking hillbilly rules. Maybe I am a hillbilly.
And you drink beer.
And I drink beer, and I'm fat, and I don't wear shoes often.
And you're a hillbilly. And you're white.
And I'm white.
Of course. I
am every bit a hillbilly in the liberal world.
Sure.
And the funny thing is then when they realize that I'm productive, they don't know what to do with that.
Right.
And that's always funny to me is when I meet somebody first and I see the look, I'm just going to be clear here. I'm not trying to compare me to fucking the plight of the black man or anything. I'm just saying that because I am who I am, I see the look. I see the weird look when I come into a store. They definitely do not expect me to be able to fucking plunk down $600 to buy a fucking piece of equipment or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or I've seen it especially in computer stores. I'll come into the computer store, like the Micro Center or whatever, and I'll be in the Micro Center, and they talk to me like I'm a fucking retard.
Right.
They'll be like, oh, well, the mouse, the clicky thing that moves the arrow on your screen. I'm like, fuck you, dickhead. I could fucking run circles around you, $10 man.
Mm-hmm.
But they do.
Right.
They talk to me like a fucking idiot.
Sure.
And so, on that level alone, I sort of get it. But, just because I'm judged against other fucking fat, long-haired douchebags.
Right. Well, I've been that way, too, back in the 90s when I just prior to meeting you for the first time.
Yeah.
You remember how long my hair was? Longer
than mine now, I think.
Yeah, it was very long. It was like down in the middle of my back.
Yeah.
And I always wore boots and leather jacket and jeans and whatever.
Right.
And I had this girlfriend. This was before Kelly.
Okay.
And we would go to, say, like Target or something, go shopping.
Right.
And their plainclothes store security would follow us.
Right.
I mean, it was very clear that this was a store security person.
Sure.
And the girlfriend that I had at the time, she would recognize it, that we were being followed.
Sure.
And I'll give her props. She had these balls to where she would notice the same security person just following us around, acting like they're browsing.
Right, sure.
And then she'd say, "We're going over to Housewares now if you want to follow us." She would say that out loud.
Right.
But it was because of me.
Of course.
Because I had this long hair and I wore the leather biker jacket and the boots and the whole thing. And,
sure.
And they were looking at me.
Sure.
And she would get annoyed with it.
Right. Dude, have I told the story on the show about when I was a kid with store detectives?
I don't know that you have.
This is funny, and it's funny you brought this up because it's a similar story. When I was 16, 17 years old, I too had longer hair. And me and my friend Scott, we used to rob the fucking Kmart blind.
Yeah, you used to tell me. You told me about how you used to steal the tapes and shit.
Yeah. Well, and that's what we used to do though. Is I would go in. We literally took his coat and we cut it and we modified it. So we like sewed in pockets so that he could steal tapes and cookies and shit. And what we would do is I would go in the store first and I would grab a tape or something, and then I would walk all around the store. Because we knew who the store detective was. There was only one store detective. And I'd lead him over to fucking women's wear or whatever, knowing that I wasn't supposed to be there, so he would follow me. And then while I had him all fucking occupied, then my friend Scott would load up his coat with shit and leave.
Right.
And we would end up, dude, that's half my cassettes from when I was a kid were obtained that way.
Sure.
I mean, literally hundreds of cassettes. We robbed that place blind.
No wonder they're going out of business.
Yeah, it's all my fault.
It is. It's all those tapes you stole back in the early 80s.
That damn Pat Benatar put them out of business.
God damn it.
Bitch.
Yeah, the big K is no longer.
Are they really going out of business?
Well, they're closing stores right and left, and it has really nothing to do with anything. It's just the business model. You know, they merged with Sears, like 15 years ago or more.
And Sears is gone
yeah,
now,
well, that's
too, aren't they?
Yeah, this is the same thing. I mean, everywhere Kmart store closes, a Sears store is closed, but, you know, they can't keep up with internet sales, so.
Yeah.
You know,
well, who wants to go to a store? Is there, like, and I know we're all over the map. We may never end this show tonight, but are there people that still want to go, like, to the mall?
I don't know. Malls are closing up and dying too.
Are they?
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I was in a mall.
Yeah, it's been literally years for me.
I don't even know where there is a mall anymore. I guess Beechwood. Beechwood would be the only one I know of close to here. I know the Randall, which was at one time was the biggest one in the world, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the premier mall of the nation.
Yeah, and they're closed. And from what I heard, Chapel Hill Mall is all but closed, and you don't go over there without fucking carrying a piece. You know, I've heard that's a really dangerous neighborhood now.
Summit Mall.
Summit Mall. I don't even know if that's still around. I don't know. I don't know where the only one I know for sure is open is Beechwood.
Sure,
that's a bunch of rich fuckers anyway.
And then there's the Richmond Mall.
That might still be open. That's over in like Mayfield or somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's still open. Maybe they're still open. But my point is who wants to go to a store now? I mean, maybe there's people that want to go and put their hands on 15 things before they buy something. But anymore, wouldn't you just rather fucking look it up online and order it?
Well, that's the way I've been doing it for years. But then again, I'm a very antisocial guy anyway. So. Oh
yeah, but it's just simpler.
I agree, but I think the malling experience is more for at least for teenagers or young people. It's a kind of a social thing,
right?
But that doesn't exist much anymore either because everybody's on Facebook.
Yeah, and that's I just can't imagine. Like I remember, and tell me if you have a similar experience to this. That was at least once a month on a Sunday. That was a Sunday out with the family. We would go out to fucking JCPenney's or some shit. And my mom and dad would walk through all the fucking aisles of JCPenney, and we just had to tag along with them.
Sure.
And they'd be like, oh, I could just hear my mom now. Oh, Bill, look at this fucking pots or whatever. Ugh. Meanwhile, I'm standing 10 feet behind her just like looking at my brother and picking on him because I just wanted to start a fight so we could get kicked out or something. Nice. I hated it. I hated JCPenney's.
Yeah.
And then we convinced my mom. I remember she'd be on the first floor. So the big thing was to convince her that we wanted to go look at like electronics or something that was on the second floor. And then we would sneak off into the mall and then get in trouble every fucking time.
Right. You go to Spencer's.
Yeah, you go into Spencer's and be looking at dildos and fucking pictures of Bo Derek.
Yeah, exactly. Look through the posters.
Yeah, getting those posters.
And
remember they had
lights.
Fucking dildos and that shit in there.
Sure, absolutely.
And I can't tell you how many times I'd be in there in the wrong section of Spencer's and my dad would come in and bust my ass.
And of course, you'd go into the adult gag gift area.
And he'd be like, what are you doing looking at that shit?
Yeah.
You're only 13 years, and he'd start yelling at their store clerk. This is a 13-year-old boy. I was like, oh God, just kill me. Yeah, yeah. But did you have that too? Like your family took you to the store?
My dad was not a shopper, so if we went to the mall, it was always with my mom.
Right.
And of course, it was the same way with you. It was Sears or Penny's.
Right.
That was the anchor stores. So you go to the stalwarts of shopping, Sears or Penny's.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my dad's same way. There was no reason for him to be in a store. My dad, if they would have had online shopping back in those days, he would have done it.
Sure, of course.
my dad was the guy that fucking picked up the phone. Wow, that looks cool. My dad was that guy. My dad owned every K-Tel fucking thing that was ever released. He really did. He bought all this. I remember stupid shit, too. He'd have these little fucking handheld poker machines and shit with a little arm thing that would play 3-card poker or some shit. You know, and if they sold it on TV, he would order it. That motherfucker used to drive. My mom used to hide the phone. Once the phone started being cordless instead of, you know, on a cord where she could keep it away from the TV. Yeah, once it got cordless, she'd start hiding the phone when he was watching TV.
Sure.
Because she'd get a fucking bill for $300 a month of him buying crap.
Right.
Fucking Chia Pets and shit. He bought all kinds of stupid shit.
Right.
Before Billy Mays, remember they used to have those
Billy Mays, yeah.
No, before him. I'm talking about 80s.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, remember they would sell all these cleaners. And they would make, you remember those commercials? They'd show these guys and they would fucking rub some kind of bullshit on their 1961 fucking Etzel and make it look like a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Remember those commercials?
Yeah.
My dad must have had 8,000 canisters of that shit in his garage. You know, he of course had turtle wax, and every week he's out there fucking turtle waxing his stupid 1977 Mustang.
Yeah, but it was a polymer coat.
Yeah, right. But he also bought the bullshit stuff that was fucking ridiculous. They'd show some rusty old piece of shit, and 2 minutes later they'd go, Shazam! When you buy fucking Axe Wax or something, this special stuff will make your car look brand new.
Right.
My dad was a sucker for all that fucking bullshit.
There was Renew, where it renew your upholstery in your car and your dashboard.
Of course, and those, remember the tape strips that you wouldn't see the tape?
Sure.
You know, when you had a crack in your leather interior in your car? Remember that shit? And they said, just put this piece of tape on. And they would like show them put the tape on, and 2 minutes later you couldn't tell where the rip was.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
My dad had all that shit.
And then, of course, you had Stain Eater.
Oh, yeah.
Stain Eater.
Stain Eater, yeah, to get rid of stains.
Right.
They would show that shit on some fucking carpet or some shit. like one big old fucking dirt spot, and then the other one looks like a brand new carpet because it was. That shit was retarded, man.
Yeah. Well, getting back to this retail.
Yeah.
It just so happens that Sampiro is, get this, a quarter African American.
A quarter?
A quarter.
All right. Which part?
I don't know. Might have been his big toe or something.
Right arm?
A detail his employers did not know until he made them aware of it, and soon after he did, he was fired.
He was fired as soon as he said he was a quarter black?
Yeah, I'm quarter black. Okay, you're out of here, pal. We don't allow blacks in our store. 410, D410.
410, D410.
Exactly. Now, the former employer or employee has filed a 30-page lawsuit against Versace.
30 pages?
According to the Huffington Post. In it, he claims he was told he was fired because he didn't understand luxury.
Okay.
And didn't know the luxury life. According to the New York Daily News, but the timing was too coincidental, just weeks after he was hired in September, and his revelation that he was a biracial shortly thereafter.
It was a D405.
Sampiro says that once he told his employers he was partially black, he was treated differently and that he did not receive legitimate training. The plaintiff is seeking class action status for the complaint, according to the WWD. I'm not sure what that is. And alleges wrongful termination and failure to prevent discrimination, along with 7 other counts.
Yeah, whatever.
According to the publication, the suit alleges he did not receive all the pay he was owed and was denied breaks.
So wait a minute. Versace, worth billions.
Yes.
Ripped this fucking guy off of his $12 an hour.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up.
According to the Daily News, the suit was filed on the worker's own behalf as well as others similarly situated and general public. Versace Versace courted controversy recently with an ad that depicted model Gigi Hadid, Hadid,
okay,
as the wife of an African-American man and the mother of 2 biracial children, one of whom looks about 5 or 6 years old. This time, though, the kerfuffle was not over race, but instead about the perceived glamorizing of teenage pregnancy, as Hadid, 21, would have been given birth to the child at a high school age.
Well, it sounds like she could sub in that other girl.
Yeah, she was the one at the Dairy Queen.
Yeah, sounds like she could have worked there first.
Exactly. The most recent controversy, though, is a prime example of the phenomenon that has come to be known as shopping while black.
That's a phenomenon.
Yeah, as known as racial profiling.
Oh, shut up.
According to International Business Times, a recent Gallup poll suggests that African Americans are more likely to feel discriminated against at a store than when going to a restaurant or dealing with police during a traffic incident. The article details the incidents of profiling in retail stores across the country in which incidences shoppers who happen to be black are followed, harassed, and inappropriately accused of stealing even though they haven't left the store.
Whether they have or haven't, what do you think the ratio is of black customers compared to white customers that actually do the stealing?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that that's the truth. I would be very curious to know that answer, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if the answer is that black kids are more likely to steal, and I don't know that to be true, but if that's the case, then the profiling is valid.
Yeah. Well, see, this goes back to even, you know, if you or I, and I don't know, I guess I can't speak for you, but if you see a pit bull, pit bull terrier, are you going to be more cautious of it than you would, say, a beagle?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the fucking pit bull's history is
but they're both dogs, though.
So?
Well, why are you more cautious of the pit bull than you were the beagle?
Because I'm not foolish. Simple answer, because I'm not a fool.
Why? What are you telling me, Chris? Are you anti-pit bull?
Apparently. I'm racist against pit bulls.
You apparently are, because you don't have the same bias against beagles.
Yep, you're correct. And wiener dogs either.
Well, see, that just goes to show you that, you know, reputation, behavior, and past practice is, you know, the reason people are a little more cautious.
Yeah, skeptical. Skeptical of the people that meet the criminal, you know, description,
right,
more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, if you want to fucking have that stop, then fucking convince people in your community to stop.
Yeah.
Believe it, this may sound racist and stupid and whatever, but if the only people that were committing fucking theft were white kids, if the only ones in the mall, if 90% of the theft in the mall was white kids, they wouldn't be trailing black kids.
You're right.
Just wouldn't be happening. They wouldn't be, well, you're black, so you're prone to it. They're going to go for who is actually prone to it.
Yeah.
Their experience is telling them that the black kids are fucking stealing from the mall.
Sure.
So that's why they're trailed. It's not racial profiling, it's history profiling.
Exactly.
Stupid.
Some specific incidences the story highlights include a lawsuit filed by former store detective against CVS, alleging the loss prevention manager in New York City instructed them to track the movements of blacks and Hispanics. See, it's not just blacks. Okay. Are closely more than customers and routinely used racial slurs to describe the shoppers. Oh, there's nothing illegal about that. Might not be right, but it's not illegal.
Right.
The article states that similar to Versace employee at a Zara, Z-A-R-A, store used a code word to identify and track black customers.
Okay.
False arrests of customers of color were made at popular retailers like Hollister, Walgreens, Macy's, and Barney's in New York. Okay. In 2013, Pew Research Center poll revealed that 46% of black people reported unfair treatment and at restaurants, and compared with only 16% of whites. According to the ACLU, racial profiling violates the U.S. Constitution's core promise of equal protection under the law to all and freedom from unreasonable searches and seizures. In short, it's only sickening. Let's see. In short, it's not only sickening, it's also illegal. Though many companies convicted of racial profiling have been made to pay hefty fines, Versace is hoping to avoid such a fate. The luxury brand has asked Alameda County Superior Court to dismiss the case, and a case status conference is scheduled for March 21st, according to the Daily News.
All right.
So they say D410.
Don't you think they're going to pay a lot?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, I guess if this complainant can really prove his case. But you know what the thing is this kind of stuff has got to stop.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, there would be no need for companies or individuals or small business owners to make these assessments unless, of course, they've been a victim of this type of activity consistently by a certain group of people.
Right.
That's what it boils down to. You know, and this goes to the whole Muslim thing. You mentioned this earlier in the show.
Uh-huh.
If I had a bowl of M&Ms,
okay,
all brown M&Ms, I'm going to take all the brown M&Ms that Van Halen, asked to be removed from their M&M stash.
Okay.
Put them all in one bowl.
In the Neely bowl.
Yeah.
All right.
And I told you, Chris Aiken.
Yes.
Hey, Chris, you're welcome to all those M&Ms in that bowl. They're brown M&Ms. They all look the same. Mm-hmm. But 20 of those M&Ms have been injected with I don't know.
Ricin.
Yeah. Anthrax.
Okay. All right.
20 of the M&Ms in that bowl have been injected with anthrax.
Okay.
Help yourself.
All right.
Would you grab a handful and just eat them all?
When's the last time I ate?
And you'd go, nope, I'm not helping myself to not even one.
Nah, I wouldn't. I'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, hey, can we send these to Brett Michaels?
But my point is that not all the M&Ms in that bowl are bad.
Right.
But
most of them aren't.
Most of them aren't. But there are a few in there that are bad, but that's going to prevent you from grabbing a handful and eating some.
Right.
You don't know when you're going to eat one of the bad ones.
It's the old saying, one bad apple spoils the bunch.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
Thank you, Franklin Roosevelt.
That who said that?
I think so.
Okay.
So, anyway, let that be a lesson to you. So here it is. We are one show down in 2017.
There we go. We got 51 more.
Right? 21st year of the show, and the first show of the 21st year.
Yeah, here we go. We're up and running again.
All right. Well, it's been a fun show. Next week, supposedly Veronica Freeman, the V, will be coming on the show, as well as Joel MacGyver,
right?
Author, and possibly Stephen Piercy.
And the P, one of the P's.
One of the P's, the 3 P's.
3 P's, Piercy, Pussy, and Party.
Pussy, Party, and Piercy.
Pussy, Party, and Piercy.
Exactly. Yeah. Veronica brings the pussy.
Mm-hmm.
Joel brings the party.
Yeah.
And Piercy, well, that speaks for itself.
Right.
The 3 P's.
There you go.
All right. It's been a good show. I appreciate everybody who came back with us and filled up the chat room tonight and was part of the show and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. And you guys are always fun. I appreciate all the memes and everything in the chat room because you keep the show interesting.
No doubt. Good luck cutting this one up, dude.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I've gotten a system down.
I guess, because this was all over the fucking map.
It was all over the map, but I'm certainly not cutting up 5 or 10 minute segments. That's for sure.
The system is first hour, second hour, third hour, fourth hour, fifth hour.
Exactly. That's how it goes. Fuck it.
You cut out the music, and that's what you get, you fucks.
The people complain that they don't like the short segments. They want something at least 30 to 40 minutes, and that's what they get.
Here you go, fuck faces.
Yeah.
Yep.
So suck on that, pal.
Yeah. With your Hoover mouth.
Exactly. So funny. So funny. All right. Got anything you want to hear on the way out of here?
I want to hear some Creator. Got any Creator over there?
I do. I got this new one. I just happen to have this new Creator.
All right.
It's called Gods of Violence.
Yes.
And I can pretty much play anything off that you'd like to hear.
My favorite, without question, is the Army of Storms.
Oh, my good. Well, what is it about that one you like?
There's this breakdown, like in the middle of it, or close to the end, where they're just jamming full speed, and they just fucking stop, and then start again, then stop, and then start again. It's fucking badass.
All right. Well, this week on the Inside the Studio, you will hear Creator. If you're a Creator fan, because it starts with a K, and as John Ostronomy says, that's cool.
That makes it cool.
That makes it cool. All right, we're going to get out of here with some brand new Creator. Their new CD is called Gods of Violence. It comes out later this month. Mm-hmm. And if you like hard, brutal, yet melodic rock, I think you'll enjoy this.
Yep.
So we're going to leave you with some Creator. So appreciate everybody tuning in. We're going to get out of here. So this is Neely along with my very good friend.
Is Egan.
And we're gone.
Bye, kitties.
Hi, this is Petrozza from Creator, and you're listening to the Classic Metal Show.